welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to Atlanta. This is the first time they have ever opened this retractable roof for a day game. They've had it open one other time under the lights at night. Big crowd on hand. And we welcome in our third member of our team today, Karen Bryant. Hi, Karen.
Hey, Tom. So, yes, of course, the Falcons are off to a 1-4 start. But believe it or not, it is not all bad. Yes, it's bad that star running back Devontae Freeman is out with foot and groin injuries. But Ito Smith and Tevin Coleman have really stepped up their game, picking up the slack, scoring 3 touchdowns today. Matt Ryan is cool under fire. He's got 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the last 3 weeks. In fact, 2 more touchdown passes, and he will tie the great Joe Montana at number 16 on the all-time touchdown list. Matty Ice just says, listen, there's a ton of optimism on offense. The difference will be in the details. Tom.
Karen, great to have you with us today. The coaches inside this NFC South battle. Dirk Cutter in his 3rd year, 16 up, 20 down. And on the other side of the ledger, Dan Quinn, a native of Morristown, New Jersey, in his 4th year as Falcons head coach. Took them to the Super Bowl 2 years ago and a playoff spot last year. We are underway as the Falcons won the toss. They defer to getting the ball in the second half. And Rodgers takes a knee, and here comes Tampa Bay on offense. We mentioned Jameis Winston, 24-year-old native of Hueytown, Alabama, won a Heisman Trophy, a national championship at Florida State. You see his career numbers against the Falcons. Against Matt Ryan, he's won 3 of the 5 career meetings.
I think it was vital for Jameis Winston to get into that second half of Chicago. Probably the only thing good that came out of that Bear game was him getting some real game time speed experience to get him back in the flow.
Winston suspended the first 3 games of the year, and that was his first game action, as Chris mentioned, in the second half. They try to get started what has been an inept running attack with Peyton Barber, spun down by Jack Crawford. Take a look at this Buccaneer offense. Lots of weapons. I mean, they were lighting it up with Ryan Fitzpatrick in there before the Chicago game.
Yeah, and I don't expect that offense to change. The one guy that I'd keep an eye on is Deshaun Jackson. Had a connection with Fitzpatrick. I don't know if he has that same connection with Winston, but they are a throw downfield team. Attack deep.
Quick slant, and that is close to a first down. Appears to have a first down as he finds the second-year receiver out of Penn State, Chris Godwin. He's a good-looking player, Godwin. We talk a lot about Evans and Jackson, of course, but Godwin, a good-looking receiver.
Yeah, his strong hands. You see the defense missing the really good player in Grady Jarrett, and also Deion Jones, one of the best linebackers in the league. And we'll see what this young secondary can do, led by Casey, former corner in college, now a safety.
Anthony Auclair, who had his first career reception 2 weeks ago against Chicago, a catch here. That'll be a gain of close to 6, maybe 5. So second down, 2 for 2 out of the gate for Jameis Winston.
Good play calling by Todd Monken, too. Easy throws. Again, you know Jameis has had success, but you want to get him into a rhythm early. You run a quick slant, a little option route. Those are easy throws for the quarterback to complete.
They fake the throw. And then they hand it off in big running room for Peyton Barber. And he's run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Trufant able to slow him down, but a big carry for Barber.
It's just a nice job of collapsing inside here. You see with Peyton Barber, nice patience, and they're late to the gap. And that's Trufant, number 21. He's got to get either inside or outside. If not, if he stays outside, the defensive end has to crash in.
It's a season-long 28-yard carry by Barber down the middle of the field, and the reception is made once again inside the Atlanta 20, and for the second time, it is Godwin. And really, this has been the MO with all the injuries to this Atlanta defense. You talked about Jarrett, you talk about Keanu Neal, Deion Jones, Ricardo Allen. Teams have just gone up and down the field, for that matter, on both of these teams.
Tampa going a little bit of tempo here. The rhythm is going. They feel it.
Hand off to Barber, and he's able to pick up maybe a yard. So second down and 9. Atlanta 28th overall defensively, 31st in scoring defense. These are the worst two defenses in the NFL in regard to allowing points per game. The last 3 games, Atlanta has given up a stunning 121 points.
And that'll be alert for O.J. Howard right here, number 80. Big, tall target in this area of the field.
Should have been intercepted in the end zone. Thrown well behind DeSean Jackson. And on the coverage, what an athlete Robert Alford is. 2nd round pick out of Southeast Louisiana 7 years ago.
It's just a huge misfire on Jameis Winston. I mean, had plenty of time. Nobody harassing the arm angle and just poorly thrown. And I contribute that, Tom, to timing. Because normally that ball will be thrown to where DeSean Jackson is going. Jameis threw that ball to where DeSean Jackson was.
Opponents have converted a whopping 55% on 3rd down against Atlanta so far this year, the highest rate in the NFL. Tall order here, though. And into the corner of the end zone, the catch is made by Cameron Brate. And that is a touchdown. There is a penalty flag down on the far side of the field, where Brate got locked up with an Atlanta defender. Walt Coleman is our referee today.
Offside, number 44, defense. That penalty's declined. Results of the play, touchdown.
How about that, Cameron Brate? He has been the go-to target, as you mentioned, Chris. Brate and Humphreys for Jameis Winston.
Well, when you have the luxury of Evans, Godwin, DeSean Jackson on one side, you can isolate Cameron Brate, number 84, at the top of your screen. You have him on Devondre Campbell, a linebacker. 20 career touchdowns for Cameron Brate. 17 have come in the red zone. You have to help a linebacker on that type of receiver.
Chandler Catanzaro for the point after. And it is no good. That's a 2nd missed point after by Catanzaro this year. What a start for Winston and the Buccaneers, right down the field on a touchdown throw to Brate.
This game is sponsored by the new super powerful Samsung Galaxy Note 9.
Chris Spielman, you've always been a big fan of the kickers. And last week we saw Mason Crosby for Green Bay miss 4 field goals and a point after, and now a miss on a PAT by Catanzaro today.
Well, you think how important that is in these high-scoring games and high offenses, right? They're going to have plenty of opportunities, and you get the feeling that this game is going to come down to the field goal or the extra point.
That one banged out through the back of the end zone, and here it comes. It's hard to believe in it that Matt Ryan is now 33 years old. Grew up in Exton, Pennsylvania, 3rd overall pick in the 2008 draft. All losses those games. 9 touchdowns, not a single interception thrown by Ryan. But you know, you can score 30 or more, which they did in 3 straight games until the Steeler game last week. But you can't give up 30 or more. They gave up 41 in that loss to the Steelers last Sunday. Without Devontae Freeman, so we'll be calling the name of Tevin Coleman a great deal today, and he carries up across the 32 to 31, and that'll be a gain of 6 yards on 1st down. What about the duo today, Chris, of Coleman and now Ito Smith?
Yeah, I think both of them are really good, and watch Coleman could be a factor because he's very good at running pass routes over 10 yards. Much like a wide receiver, Ito Smith, the rookie, shaky guy, very shifty and excellent in pass protection for a rookie.
Well, the great Julio Jones in motion. And appearing to be short of the 1st down is Austin Hooper. He had a career-high 9 receptions against the Steelers a week ago, targeted 12 times in that game. Tampa Bay giving up 35 points per game and nearly 450 yards of offense per game.
Well, they get them back Bo Allen at defensive tackle. Space eater inside should help linebackers and free them up to make plays. They were an embarrassed defense. Embarrassed defense is a dangerous defense. I expect them to bounce back a little bit today.
Well, they said it was enough for a first down, so Ryan play action. And that is a reception up to midfield for the #1 draft pick out of Alabama, Calvin Ridley, off to a nice start his rookie year.
Well, he is, and he's a nice compliment to Julio Jones. He's going to run a slant. This is play action RPO. Everybody talks about RPOs in the NFL. It's the same thing. You have a quick slant away from the run action. They fake it to the left. They have a quick slant to Calvin Ridley coming back to the right. The only difference there, Tom, was it's from under center as opposed to out of shotgun.
12 men in the huddle. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's not the way to get it started after you get a 15-yard gain on a completion to Ridley.
You know, with this game also, and when we see this throughout the NFL, the game is played. Teams move the ball from the 20 to the 20, right? That's what we see. Defenses then tend to take more chances with blitzes because they pick up the extra defender, the end line of the end zone. So these two offenses will move the ball from the 20 to 20. Could be 1,000 yards of total offense in this game. Who knows?
Well, it's after that kind of start already. Julio Jones beats Ryan Smith and gets a large chunk of the 10 of the 15 back on a first down play to the 45. Julio Jones, well documented, Chris. He's gone 10 games without a touchdown. His last touchdown came against the Buccaneers when he had the monster game in week 12 of last year.
Now, everybody talks about Julio, but the thing is, because he demands double teams, either bracket coverage where a guy has them east and west, or if you have a high-low coverage on him, that opens up opportunities for other guys, and they've been taking advantage of that. I like getting Julio involved, Tom. Didn't have a catch till the fourth quarter.
Right.
And he doesn't get enough credit for his track yards, run after catch.
Ridley for a first down, and he's run out of bounds at the 35-yard line, so they'll move the chains again, and we move to Los Angeles with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you very much. Redskins capitalize off a turnover as Alex Smith finds Vernon Davis wide open for this 22-yard score. Redskins up 7-0.
All right, Carissa, thank you. They fake the end around and then fire wide open to Mohamed Sanu. And he reaches for the end zone. Did he get there? It is a touchdown for Mohamed Sanu. .35-yard score, Matt Ryan to Mohamed Sanu.
These guys will suck up the linebackers. Your offensive line will suck up the linebackers, and that allows Sanu to work in between the safety and linebackers because there's nobody at that 12 to 15-yard depth range. And Mohamed Sanu, dangerous rack, and he gets close to that end zone. Tom, he's tough enough. He will find a way to get that ball in there.
And of course, they will look at the video tape to confirm every scoring play and every change of possession. Did he step out of bounds? It does not look like he did. Nope. Still tiptoeing along the sideline, and it appeared as though the ball broke the plane before that knee came down to the ground. So it is confirmed a touchdown for Sanu. We've already had a missed extra point today, so this is for the lead. The veteran Matt Bryant, among the very, very best for so many years. And right down the middle. Each team with a possession, each team with a touchdown. The point after, the difference. And how about the youngster? Well, I'd like to have that kid's head of hair.
With all new Bob's Burgers, hold on for a look at the terrifying new Hulu original, Into the Dark.
So problem's been communication breakdown. So what do? Communicate. And they're still trying to figure out what's going on in that secondary. And I get it, man. They got a lot of young guys, right? But guess what? It's the NFL. You're here. You're in week 6. You can't afford to be young anymore. You have to grow up and you have to understand what you're doing. That was John Hoke, the secondary coach. And also, Tom, Mike Smith under some heat, the defensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week.
Of course, former longtime head coach of these Atlanta Falcons, Mike Smith, now the defensive coordinator under Dirk Cutter. And Rodgers denied the 20-yard line. We talked about Atlanta defensively. This was a top 10 defense a year ago, but injuries have piled up. Pro Bowlers Neal tearing his ACL week 1. Fellow Pro Bowler Jones injuring his foot as well in the season opener. Then free safety Ricardo Allen tore his Achilles tendon. That ended his year week 3. And now today, back-to-back games without their outstanding defensive tackle, who I know you think a great deal of, and Grady Jarrett.
And Deion Jones, both of them. That's the heart of their defense, right down the middle, right? Neal, Jones, Jarrett. Grady Jarrett's a very underrated player that plays that defensive tackle position. He is missed. Hopefully he'll be back soon. He was working out a little bit on Friday.
First down, Barber able to juke his way past Brian Poole, and it carries up to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, so missed tackles have been an issue for the Falcons, and Poole, number 34, had him in his sights. He lowers his head. Grady Jarrett wouldn't have missed that tackle. That's what he's saying to himself right now. He had him in his sights. He put his head down. You cannot hit what you do not see. Eyes up, head up, wrap up. It's a formula that's standing the test of time, my friend. Stood the test of time.
Winston 4 of 5 on the opening drive with a touchdown throw. Ryan 5 of 5 on the opening drive with a touchdown pass. And now right back into the air. And out of the backfield it is Barber, and that'll be enough for a first down up to the 32-yard line.
Almost get the feeling if you're Tampa Bay, you couldn't have a better start for Jameis Winston.
Yep.
And because you're establishing the run. Well, in today's NFL, even in college football, you have to throw to run. It used to be back in the day, let's run to throw. No, no. You have to throw to run, especially if you're a team that struggles running the football. And Jameis is often running because his timing looks pretty good with his receivers.
Fake the run. And what a reception by Evans, his first of the game. 4 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons to start the career of Mike Evans, a gain of 19.
Yeah, such a big target as Mike Evans going to work on a deep in here. And really, in my opinion, a couple years ago, was good. Not great, was good. Well, he's gone from good to elite. One is because he makes catches like that, and two, one thing he really improved on in the offseason is took it seriously and improved on his stamina, so he doesn't get tired. Got nicked up there a little bit, but he'll be back.
And with that reception, he needed 14 yards coming in to set the Buccaneers' all-time franchise record for receiving yards, formerly held by Mark Carrier. And remember that Evans is only his 5th year in the National Football League. Michael Bennett, the former Ohio State Buckeye, and on the tackle there, a gain of 2.
That Evans is almost like just throw it in the area code. He's got a chance of getting it in the area code.
They bring in Ronald Jones and split him, the rookie running back out of USC, to the very top of your screen. Empty backfield for Winston. Some miscommunication there. Godwin was headed towards the middle of the field, and the throw went to the sideline. 3rd down coming up.
I thought he missed Deshaun Jackson underneath. They're going to run a little bit of a switch route where he's coming here. Now watch Deshaun Jackson come wide open. This is a miss on James's part. Right there, look at Deshaun Jackson still running. He can split those safeties, and that's on Godwin. When a defensive back is on top of you, the quarterback automatically is going to throw back shoulder. He should have adjusted a little bit quicker to that football.
Blitz coming, and now Winston in trouble, still on his feet, and spins away and is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Actually ought to be a loss of 2. Vic Beasley Jr., the first one back there to blow it all up.
Yeah, and you also have Tack McKinley right here. Here's Vic Beasley. Both these guys are relentless pass rushers. They just keep coming and coming. Tack McKinley splitting the double team. Vic Beasley, those two on the same side is a little different look. I think confused Tampa Bay. That's a nice little play. Drawn up by Dan Quinn.
First drive for either team. It stalls with a punt. And Brian Anger trying to pin him. There's a flag down. This could be roughing. And the ball is loose. Justin Hardy able to cover it back up, but we'll wait on the penalty. It looked like Justin Bethel may have made contact. The question is, was he blocked into the punter? Yeah, he looked blocked into him by Alan Cross. They may pick up the flag.
Running into the kicker, number 28 of the return team. That penalty's declined. First down.
All righty, so the Falcons will get the football, leading Tampa Bay 7-6.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Corona Extra. Find your beach. And by Burger King. Get 10 crispy chicken nuggets for just $1 only at Burger King.
Second year since the opening of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta, replacing the old Georgia Dome. And for the first time for a day game, the roof is open. And boy, that sun is pouring down on this side to the bottom of your screen, the stadium, and those trying to watch this game. First down, Matt Ryan. And the pass is complete to the 35-yard line. And again, it's a rookie out of Alabama, Calvin Ridley.
This is a really nice route by the rookie Calvin Ridley, number 18. They targeted Ryan Smith. This is the third completion that Ryan Smith has given up. You see when Ryan Smith turns his shoulders to run, that's when Ridley knows he has him. Nice timing on the comeback route. Matt Ryan delivers a very catchable ball. You want to get that DB's shoulders turned. He did. Then you break off your route. Beautifully done.
The gain is 20 and dropped right there. No gain. And let's send it to Carissa Thompson in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Tom. So the Vikings were the only team in the league without a rushing touchdown this season until now. Latavius Murray with a 21-yard score. Vikings up 7-3. Tom?
Of course, that was a game, Carissa, thank you, where Dalvin Cook, they're talking about playing, what, Chris, roughly half the number of snaps today.
Yeah, he's struggling with a hamstring injury, and Latavius Murray, not a bad guy to bring out of the bullpen.
No, not bad at all. Ryan tried to set up the tight end screen to Austin Hooper and snuffed out beautifully there. Led by Big Bo Allen. They call him the Polar Bear out of Wisconsin.
He got a little Quan help, too, from Quan Alexander. This is a really good play by both those guys because Atlanta has three guys out in front on this screen with Austin Hooper. And watch this, Hooper's going to come around. Look at the three guys. They're all set up right there. Quan Alexander does a nice job. Whitehead, number 31, playing safety, does a nice job. Rally to that screen, prevent big plays.
Yeah, I was wrong. I gave Allen some credit there. He was standing here watching.
Yeah, that's all right.
I know you've been very high on Quan Alexander for a number of years. And this is the first third down for Ryan and the Falcons. Wide open is Austin Hooper, and that is a first down to midfield. A gain of 14 on third and long.
So you're playing scared as a secondary, right? This is a version of Tampa 2. This is your middle linebacker. Here's the first down. Don't drop beyond the sticks because the Falcons are taught to run to the sticks. And when you're way back playing 3 deep, you're playing scared. You have to play a zone, then zone turns into man when somebody comes into your zone. That's when you play man. That's playing scared, and it's a lack of communication. You got to get up. If you're going to play secondary in the NFL, you better be able to challenge people or they will rip you.
What a start today for Matt Ryan. 9 for 9. Make it 10 out of 10. We're going to start this ball at the 41. That'll be a gain of 9. And again, perfect thus far on the day is Matt Ryan.
There's no pass rush, right? So if you let him sit back there and pick you apart, it's over. Because he will not miss.
The Buccaneers only have 8 sacks a whole year, and Jason Pierre-Paul has half of them. And that appears to be enough for a first down for the rookie out of Southern Miss, Ito Smith. He has rushing touchdowns in back-to-back games. In fact, the first Atlanta rookie ever to do that is Ito Smith.
Shake guy Dan Quinn in our meetings talked about how high he was on Ito Smith. Great balance, vision, patience, all the things you like to see out of a young running back.
Pitch it to Smith. And he is dropped in the backfield. And a big fella. 6-time Pro Bowler Gerald McCoy back there to slow him down.
He got the assist at the 45-yard line, got the tackle on a stat sheet. Gerald McCoy, known for his penetration on running plays, his quick get off, playing over to center, takes Alex Mack back, trips him up just enough, but again, the 45-yard line will get credit for the tackle. First one. It's been shut out all year.
Final 11 seconds on the snap of the ball of this opening quarter. And it has been a perfect quarter for Matt Ryan. He finds Julio Jones to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up another third down and long. Ryan 11 for 11. He and Winston each with a touchdown score in the opening quarter from Atlanta. Well, look, he's one of our favorite guys in the league. Has been since he was a head coach, Mike Smith. But this defense now on the right-hand side, that's the NFL record in 2 categories for an entire year. And you look where the Buccaneers rank so far this season in completion percentage and opponent's passer rating.
Let's talk about playing scared. I guess a more accurate word would be timid. You have to play zone, and it's too easy to complete passes against so much zone. For a guy like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, communication has also been a big issue.
It's a big third down for this Buccaneer defense. They're coming after Ryan, and they dump it off to Julio Jones, and he has enough for a first down, it appears, to the 29-yard line, so they convert on third down at 9.
Find ways to get one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver, involved early. A crossing route, you're going to match him up with linebacker Quan Alexander. It's just a little late recognizing it. The stiff arm just enough for him to reach for the first down. I really believe Julio, he does not get enough credit for how good he is run after catch. He's outstanding. He's competitive as heck and tough as all get out. Love the guy.
Boy, brought up earlier, he did not have a single catch against the Steelers until under 14 minutes in the fourth quarter. He has 5 of them already in the game today. Play action, Ryan lofts to Hardy down the sideline. Excellent coverage by Tampa Bay. Second down and 10.
Better job now. They're playing a little bit of man because the field constricts, so you don't have to cover as long or as deep. And that time was a great job by Tampa Bay, get up and challenging those Falcon receivers. But Julio was on the bench, and that's a relief for everybody. Maybe you're going man when Julio's on the bench.
That's the first incompletion thrown by Matt Ryan today. 11th play of this drive. Atlanta already with a 7-6 lead. Coleman cuts it back to the inside, and he is very close to a first down. Needed to get to the 19. We saw Calvin Ridley limping around a little bit. Karen Bryant.
Right now, his return is questionable. He's been on the table here for a few minutes. He's got both ankles taped up now, but it is the left ankle. His return is questionable.
That would be a big hit for this Atlanta team.
Yeah, especially down in the red zone, because all the attention that Julio Jones gets. Calvin Ridley's been able to take advantage of that. He has 6 touchdowns on the year. He's winning his one-on-one battles. They're playing zone because you have a corner covering a running back. That's a pre-snap read from Matt Ryan.
Great protection, throwing to the end zone and getting tangled up down there in the end zone. The long-time Atlanta Falcon Brent Grimes. And looking to Tevin Coleman.
This is what I'm talking about having to keep it simple because of the communication errors by the Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense. They're going to play zone, so you see this right here. You have Grimes on a wide receiver. He does a good job of letting his guy go, have a look at Coleman running deep. We told you he likes long routes. Grimes is in great position to knock it away.
They hand it to Edo Smith. And that was blown up beautifully by Justin Evans. It'll bring up another third down and long, the third on this drive. Matt Ryan in his career inside the red zone against Tampa Bay. 22 touchdowns, not a single interception.
He understands. Let's see what they do with Julio Jones if they high-low him. Austin Hooper's been effective in this area of the field. And Tampa Bay, if they do play zone, has to understand where the sticks are to prevent the first down. Don't drop off the island.
And the sticks will be right around the 8-yard line. And now flushed out of the pocket. McCoy giving chase. Flag down. Incomplete to Ito Smith. More than likely a hold coming here against Atlanta, which would bring on the field goal unit.
Better coverage downfield by the Buccaneer back end. No place for Matt Ryan to go.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 93, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So how about that? It's not a hold. It goes against the Pro Bowler Gerald McCoy, and instead of forcing a field goal, it's an automatic first down.
Well, this is discipline, right? You see where Gerald McCoy is working. I believe that's on Schweitzer right there. You have to understand that if you're a team or defense that's struggling, the Falcons don't need any help scoring points or moving the football. You have to have the discipline to get your hand right off of it, even if it slips up there. Get it off. That's killing.
Smith off the left side will go into the end zone untouched. A third consecutive game with a rushing touchdown for the rookie out of Southern Mississippi, Ito Smith.
You have to bounce the ball into the on-block player. Watch Paulson's going to get the cutback. He's going to get the key block to spring him. That's going to have Tampa Bay defenders. You're going to have two guys in one gap. Freezer right there. That's a guy outside. That's a guy outside. Somebody has to squeeze that down and bounce it to the on-block player. If you don't, Jason Pierre-Paul has no shot. Just lack of execution. Again, two guys in one gap.
With Logan Paulson, you pointed him out. He took care of two guys in one play. Falcons rolling up big points early against Tampa Bay.
I ain't playing around. Make one false move, I take.
Matt Ryan against his former head coach Mike Smith. The numbers on the top coming into today's game, winning 3 of 4 without a single interception. Look at that quarterback rating. And then today, missing just twice on 14 attempts and already a touchdown.
I have no idea what that quarterback rating is, but it must be pretty good if it's 114.
Well, the bottom line is, and I'm with you all the way. I mean, sooner or later, that stuff gets a little tired, some of the numbers. But the bottom line is, are you throwing for a lot of yards? Are you throwing for touchdowns and not throwing for interceptions? That's pretty much what it boils down to. Let's go back to the touchdown run a moment ago.
Well, hey, here's what's getting tired is there's a lack of communication. The coach is going to come out here and meet JPP. You see that chop? He's telling when the ball goes away, I guarantee he's telling this, you must squeeze down to take any cutback lanes, especially if you're on block. Right there, he's trying to explain to him what's going on. I don't think he's buying it. So not only do we have a communication problem in the back end, also in the front end, right there via that replay of JPP. Close it down when the ball's away and you're on blocks. You got cutback. Simple.
So now Winston to throw it on first down. That's Godwin. And dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Nicely played. Talk about what a great athlete Robert Alford is. I mean, whether you're talking about running, you're talking about leaping ability, talking about quickness. He's been a solid player, second-round pick in 2013 and a 5-year starter. Peyton Barber looking for running room up to the 29-yard line. That'll bring up third down. Jordan Richards on the stop.
Well, this is a problem right now because what Atlanta has on defense is speed off the edge. And sometimes, and we saw it against Chicago, take a look at the two offensive tackles, DeMar Dotson and Donovan Smith. Sometimes speed gives them a problem. They're going to be opposite sides on this play. Remember the last series they had, they both lined up together. I keep my eye on Takk McKinley. Relentless. There he is.
Falcons bring the blitz. It's picked up. Should leave an open receiver and right through the hands of Mike Evans. Tampa Bay did a nice job picking up the blitz by Brian Poole, and that's a third down that should have been converted.
Well, they're working off of Trufant, right? And corners love challenges. Mike Evans is considered elite. Trufant not getting pushed off, and normally a catch that Mike Evans makes, and that's a timing issue, and I say that because his hands are late to the ball. When they're in sync and in rhythm, that's usually an automatic.
Langer puts a foot on it. Returnable here for Justin Hardy from the 27-yard line out across the 40. And a nice return. 15-yard return by Hardy. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for Atlanta. The Falcons have the lead and the ball when we come back. Well, certainly all our thoughts and prayers are with those across the Gulf Coast, the entire Southeast affected by the devastating Hurricane Michael this last week. You can donate today going to redcross.org or text Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, to 90999 and give $10 to the American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. Just devastating for so many families, their businesses, their homes, their children, their animals. It's just been heartbreaking.
Yeah, my wife and I jumped on that quickly as far as donating. And one thing I know, and around a tragedy like that, Americans unite.
Yes.
Whatever difference you have, you unite to help your fellow American. And Red Cross does great work. Like this Falcon offense is doing great work on this Tampa Bay defense.
Ito Smith, a touchdown run a moment ago, is run down by Jason Pierre-Paul, but not before a gain of close to 6. And we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Well, look at this. Washington against Carolina in control. Paul Richardson with a touchdown reception from Alex Smith, and it's 14-0 Redskins early in the second quarter. Tom, Chris, and Karen.
Of course, both these teams love seeing that. Carolina going into play today at 3-1. Redskins sitting atop the NFC East at 2 up, 2 down. Smith once more on the pitch. And Allen wraps him up short of a first down. We saw the game 2 weeks ago in Chicago. As ugly a game as the Buccaneers in their history arguably have ever played on defense. It was just awful.
Well, I think this is, and sometimes, you know, I'm subject to hyperbole. Some say. I don't think so. This is a vital series for Mike Smith, Dirk Cutter, and that defense, because they don't have a lot of confidence right now. I mean, teams are scoring at will, so this is a huge third down play. Time to get aggressive.
Third down and 3. And a one-handed reception made by Sanu. And it's another third down conversion. 3 of 3 in the game.
Just everything's a little pick route because they're anticipating man coverage when 3rd and 3 or less. Sanu's just running a little option route. And maybe not the most, I guess, recognizable guy because you have Julio Jones. But I'm telling you, man, that first thing about that guy, when I see him and I watch him practice, the only thing I say, football player. Flat out, just football player. Not receiver, football player.
A good passer as well. Ryan hit as he throws. And looking for Julio Jones in a double coverage down around the 10-yard line.
Now, they need to have a conversation because he and Julio were not on the same page. Julio flattened that route out. Matt Ryan thought he was going to deep. That's why the overthrow. Watch Julio's going to come. He's going to flatten this out. Because of the corner being up on top, that Julio does the right thing right there. He flattens that out, and I think Matt Ryan didn't see that safety, or he would have threw the ball flat instead of throwing it deep.
Second down and 10 for Ryan and the Falcons. From the Tampa Bay 40. And that's Austin Hooper. It'll bring up another third down and long. You know, the first year, the numbers were considerably better than they were the year before when Mike Smith took over this defense. But then last year, gave up a league worst as far as yards were concerned. Points allowed at 24. And look at this year. The easiest thing in the world is to point at the defensive coordinator. Mike Smith has coached some great defenses in the NFL.
Sure. You'd like to understand he's ultimately responsible with John Hoke, the secondary coach for the Buccaneers, that it's everybody's responsibility. And every player should say it's our responsibility.
Ryan hit as he threw it, but wide open is Julio Jones. And how in the world does number 11 get that wide open on another third down and long?
I'm going to tell you why. Because Brent Grimes in man coverage looks back at the quarterback. As soon as he looks back at the quarterback, he loses sight of Julio Jones. It's just a great route. Now watch Brent look back at the quarterback. You see that? Once he looked back, Julio broke it off. When you're in man-to-man coverage, your eyes must stay on the receiver. If you lose him, a connection like Ryan and Jones will beat you every single time.
Jones already 6 catches here in the opening half. Of course, he had the greatest game of his NFL career against his Tampa Bay team a year ago. Hooper able to step away from Ryan Smith and into the end zone. A touchdown. Third one already today for Atlanta.
It's a nice little delay route. Watch the patience. He's not going to come out. He's going to delay just enough to get Ryan Smith to back off. They're in zone coverage. Ryan Smith backs off. Now, in order to be a great defense, you have to be able to tackle in space. I would take a corner on a tight end in space every day of the week, I guess, unless it's Hooper against Ryan Smith. Once again, eyes are down to the ground. You can't see, but you can't hit.
And after now by Bryant for Matt Ryan, second touchdown pass today. He ties Joe Montana. 273 games with 2 or more, and you get the feeling Ryan might not be done.
This is sponsored by the well-connected 2019 MKC and by the Capital One Saver Card. What's in your wallet?
Well, you mentioned you start getting in the same conversation with guys like Joe Montana and Johnny Unitas. Not bad.
No, yeah, I think he's feeling it right now. And the one thing that helps him, if they get Julio Jones involved early. So how do you create matchups? You run picks for him. You get him in the slot. That's a different matchup creator. You put a running back out there, you recognize whether it's zone or man by if the corner's lined up on the running back. And you also put him in motion. Julio Jones is feeling it.
Well, we shift gears back to baseball tomorrow. Game 3 of the National League Championship Series. Tied at a game apiece, the Brewers and the Dodgers tomorrow night only on FS1. Shashin will start it for Milwaukee. Justin Turner, that big home run, a 2-run home run in the 8th inning. Brewers were 5 outs away from leading that series 2 games to none. You get the feeling the Buccaneers need a score. And a good way to get it started to Deshaun Jackson. That's up to the 45-yard line, his first catch today.
Deshaun has to develop the same chemistry with Jameis that he had with Fitz. He's working a little bit of coverage right here. He's such a threat down the field. So anytime he can push a defensive back down the field and break it off, those defensive backs understand that speed kills.
Well, the Buccaneers went right down the field on their opening drive of the game. This is Barber, who, when carrying the ball, is carrying the ball well so far today. His 7th catch closing in on 7th carry, I beg your pardon, closing in on 40 yards.
He's a tough runner. He's only averaging, 3 yards a carry, which has been missing from this offense. They can just get a little bit of balance. They don't need to lead the league in rushing. Just be a little bit of a threat.
And they're only averaging 70 rushing yards per game. Only 2 teams have been worse. Winston dropped the ball. That threw the timing off that play all the way with Godwin. So to bring up a 3rd down and 3, and there's an injured Falcon right at midfield. It looks like Brian. Nope. Sanat, yep. Debron Sanat, the rookie out of South Florida. Standout player for the South Florida Bulls, just outside of Tampa.
Be a tough injury, Tom, because remember, they're thin right there. At that position, that inside defensive tackle position, he's been, and that's the guy they're missing right now is Grady Jarrett. And I know he's concerned about his teammate.
So while they take a look at Sinat, we will step aside. 21-6 his Falcons in front. What's incredible, the changes in downtown Atlanta since they had the Olympic Games. Of course, they built Turner Field, and no longer do the baseball Atlanta Braves call that facility home anymore. That's now the home of Georgia State. No more Georgia Dome. Third down, the Buccaneers 1 of 3 on third down. And it'll be Jameis on the read option. Inside the 45, a first down to the 44-yard line.
Outstanding job of Jameis Winston reading the crashing defensive end. Takk McKinley is going to follow the running back. Jameis will have the option to give it or pull it. He had the right read. McKinley went down to the running back. Jameis Winston stayed patient with the read, pulled it, and you can see that on Saturday afternoons all over the country.
You better believe that. Well, they're still bummed out around these parts as University of Georgia was just overwhelmed yesterday down in the Bayou by the LSU Bengal Tigers. First loss for the Bulldogs. And Winston looking for Evans. Evans looking for a penalty flag. There is one all the way back, however, at the line of scrimmage. Well, it looked like Evans got run over in pursuit of that ball by Robert Alford, and no flag came down.
Illegal motion, number 13, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Sometimes when you're running deep, you're excited to get off to a fast start. I tell you, he and Alford are doing battle out there. A lot of hand-to-hand combat down in the field. You figure out the officials, Tom, how they're calling them. So if they're not calling it tight, you as a DB can get a little more physical.
They'll make it 1st and 15, and they give it to Barber. Tries to sneak through a couple of defenders. Actually, this time Ronald Jones, a rookie out of USC. Jones got his first game action in Chicago. He had been inactive. They were talking about, he wasn't ready to play on special teams, and that was something that Sean Wilson was able to do. He had 10 carries in that game. You saw him in college.
Yeah, I like Ronald Jones. I think after his first game, he was running just a little bit tentative. Not scared, just not sure. I'm looking forward to see him become more instinctive as a runner with the more carries he gets.
Winston throws down the middle of the field to Deshaun Jackson. It's intercepted inside the 5-yard line by Casey. And Winston with a turnover. Threw it into double coverage.
Well, if you want to take a shot, that's your guy, right? We know that Deshaun Jackson can go deep. Casey had a pick in practice on Friday. A lot of times that translates. And he also understands if I'm playing 3 deep zone or I'm a single safety high, I am always deep as the deepest. We told you that he played corner in college and has transitioned from corner to safety nicely. And usually a corner has pretty decent ball skills. And that's his 2nd interception in 2 weeks for Casey.
Deshaun Jackson was a big proponent about Ryan Fitzpatrick keeping that job. And why wouldn't you be when you look inside some of these numbers?
Yeah, it just almost seems like ever since Deshaun got there and James, they just never really had that connection, right? And we talked about it. Evans got a little connection. The 2 guys that have the biggest connection with Jameis Winston were Brate and Adam Humphries.
Yep.
But those aren't your big-time players. So he has to find that connection with Deshaun Jackson for this offense to operate at its highest level.
Well, apparently they are reviewing where Casey will be marked down, and we'll be right back after this message from Progressive. Well, we're still waiting to find out where they're going to spot the ball after the interception.
It should be about at the 2-yard line, maybe at the 1.
By the time he was touched by Deshaun Jackson, because he still could have gotten up and started to run there.
Yeah. And let's look ahead right now, right? You're Tampa Bay's defense. You know you've struggled. You haven't stopped anybody yet. So what's the situation? I can create field position for my offense. In field position, Mike, where should it be spotted, Mike?
I think it's going to be spotted right there at the 1, so it's just a matter of where he's touched. They're looking at momentum. Did his momentum take him into the end zone? The ball would actually have to get there, but I think he's touched before he actually gets to the end zone. Ball's going to end up in the field to play either way.
Great to have Mike Pereira, part of our team today. Hope all's well back with you out there in Hollywood. That's where Mike Pereira belongs. There's no doubt about that.
Let's be the linebacker in the defensive huddle, right? We always talk about quarterbacks in the offensive huddle. Let's be the linebacker in the defensive huddle. Look, forget the previous plays. Wasn't good enough. Now we can make a play either by getting a 3 and out or some type of stop, and let's help our offense. Let's be a contributor as opposed to a constant taker. Let's be a contributor, set this offense up, stop the Falcons here. Somebody's got to rally that. I got everybody looking around down there saying, what the heck's going on?
After reviewing the play, the runner was down by contact at the 1-yard line. So the ball will be placed at the 1, first down. Please reset the clock to 4:57.
And that's exactly as we suspected. It would be inside the 1-yard line. For KZ, he now has interceptions in each of the last 3 games. Had an interception in the end zone against the Steelers. That one nearly in the end zone. And he was a big-time playmaker as a cornerback at San Diego State. Now playing safety for these Atlanta Falcons. All right, let's see. Backed up inside their own 1. Every time the Falcons have had the ball, the Falcons have scored a touchdown. They're going to throw it on first down. And that is Hardy. And that'll be a gain of 7. And Karen, you're down there listening to what's going on in this Tampa Bay huddle defensively on the sideline.
Well, listen up. Mark Duffner, the linebacker coach, was definitely trying to get his team inspired here. He wasn't, let's say, I don't see panic, but I definitely do see concern. I definitely saw more upset from the offensive lineman who just came in after that interception.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if they move the ball down here and score, KB, then it might be time to panic. And maybe panic would be a good thing. You got to get a stop.
Second down, and Coleman trying to break it to the outside. Grimes slowed him down, and then coming in to clean him up, Levante David. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. You know how to help a rookie quarterback? Have a good defense. Chandler Jones strip sack recovered by Budda Baker for this 36-yard score. We are all tied up at 10. Tom, Chris, and Karen.
Well, that's a game Minnesota has to have. Already losing at home earlier this year to Buffalo.
Yeah, well, they got to figure out a running game and got to find their defense.
Third and 1, where the Falcons are 5 of 8 converting 3rd and 1 this year. They're going to throw it 3rd and 1. And Ryan in trouble, just has to throw it away. So what a surprise there.
Levante David got away with a tackle on Ito Smith. This should have been defensive holding. That's Tevin Coleman's going to try to sneak out here to the flat. Levante David does a good job of peeling off. Now let's see if he grabs the shoulder pad. Yeah, he grabbed the jersey and tackled him. Coleman's looking for help. He buried the flag. Good stop by Tampa Bay.
And drop back Deshaun Jackson. Of course, he used to be the single most dangerous punt returner in the NFL for many, many years, going back to his days in Philadelphia. This one returnable from the 40. Still has those moves, doesn't he? And he's dropped to the 49. So excellent field position with 3:21 to go until halftime for Jameis Winston and the Buccaneers.
Well, the defense did their part, right? They created field position. They held up their end of the bargain. They started contributing. Now, if you're a struggling team and you need something going, if you're struggling with confidence, you must take advantage and get some type of points on the board before you head into halftime.
The turnovers have been the story. You go back to when he came out of Florida State, 62 of them after the interception a moment ago. Tied for second most in the league with Eli Manning after what happened with the Giant quarterback against Philadelphia here on Fox on Thursday. Only Blake Bortles with more. And now Winston running for his life. He'll just eat it. And a pretty nice pickup. See where they spot it, but that may be close to a 4 or 5 yard gain.
This is what he brings that Fitzpatrick does not bring, as Tack McKinley again, who is relentless. As that pass rusher is going to come inside, forcing Jameis Winston to pull the ball down. See Tack working that inside move. Jameis doing a good job of having 2 hands on the football inside the pocket. That used to be a problem. That's something they focused on in the offseason. Protect the ball.
Gain of 4, so 2nd down and 6, and this is Ronald Jones. And he has a first down inside the Falcons 40, tackled at the 38-yard line after a gain of an even 10.
Good call when you have a relentless pass rush, especially from the outside. You set up a little outside screen. Slow those guys down just a tad.
Each team with all 3 timeouts, and of course we have a 2-minute warning, 17 seconds away from that. Jones once more, and this will take us down to the 2-minute warning. Buccaneers on the move, trying to get closer, trailing 21-6. Of course, right here in Atlanta, they have the College Football Hall of Fame and one of the great linebackers in the history of college football, my main man out of Massillon, Ohio, Chris Spielman, starring for the Ohio State University Buckeyes. How about that, big boy?
The only thing
nice, give me some of that.
The only thing great about that was that mustache, because that was great.
But now you're a nominee for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. It's really cool. That College Football Hall of Fame is a big deal.
2nd down and 9, and Winston again flushed out of the pocket. Now a lot of running room in front of him. He's going to take it himself. Oh boy, that's a huge hit, and Winston going after Poole, who put the hit on Winston when it clearly looked like he was going out of bounds. And now flags come in. I am stunned that the hit was not ruled a penalty.
Let's see what happens.
I know he's out of the pocket. I understand all of that. And defenders are in a tough spot in this day and age.
Absolutely, because you know that sometimes guys will fake going out of bounds.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 23, defense. That 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the play. First down.
And Jameis Winston, in fairness to Poole, Jameis Winston lowers his shoulder. He's bracing for contact, so he knows the hit is coming. And Poole just pushes him out of bounds. Now, you got to be careful with the helmet to helmet if you're Poole.
Yep. And it was actually the center, Ryan Jensen, who then went after Poole.
Yeah, and I get what Ryan Jensen's trying to do, but if you're going there, you have to be able to have the discipline to pull yourself away. Because remember, Jameis Winston and Mike Evans got into it in New Orleans.
Yep,
and you get a big penalty, you set your offense back, but no harm, no foul. Play ball. Here we go.
All right, so first down for Winston. And he throws to Evans, who looked like he never saw the ball till the very last second.
Well, this is on Alford. And Evans is going to work on Poole on an outcut, but Alford has to be underneath this. You see Alford right there? He is covering air. If nothing's in front of you, as a corner, get your depth so you can get underneath that. Because of his great vertical leap, he trusted that just a little too much. Winston was able to throw it right over the top.
And that's why you saw the reaction of Evans, because it went right through the defender's hands. Gain of 12, and now Winston. He's going to run it again. And spins it inside the 10, and he'll slide down at the 9, and we will quickly check in once more with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Get you an update here on the NFC South. So the Panthers trailing 17-0 in Washington when Cam Newton connects with Devin Funchess for this 23-yard score. Extra point no good. Panthers still trail 17-6.
Boy, that missed extra point. We've already seen it could loom large before this one's over here. And it's same there in the nation's capital. 40 seconds remain, the clock running, and the Buccaneers have all 3 timeouts. They've let 25 seconds burn since Winston slid down. But no big deal, because they go to O.J. Howard, who many thought would be out for 3 or 4 weeks with a knee injury. He's back in there today, and now a much-needed touchdown for Tampa Bay.
So you're playing 2 men and working on Devondre Campbell. It's all about identifying matchups. He's going to use his big body. You have safeties up here, so you want to be careful about playing on top of the wide receiver. See how Campbell's on top of the wide receiver? In two-man, if you play under in front of him like you're fronting him in basketball, guess what? You have two helpers over the top. That's just a big body. He just uses that to box out Campbell.
And that's something you've said you'd like to see Howard do a little bit more of. Use that big body.
Yeah, he's getting better at that. He still can be a little bit more physical, and he showed it right there. And that was a great answer by the Tampa Bay offense and set up by the Tampa Bay defense with a 3-and-out.
There's no question that he scored the touchdown, and it's been confirmed now. And here comes a point after from Catanzaro, who missed his only point after attempt on the first Buccaneers touchdown. And this one right down the middle. So perhaps, igniting a little emotion was this hit by Poole on Winston.
First of all, I love the reaction by Winston right here. And a few years ago, maybe last year, he'd have an emotional response. He'd get up and he'd start hooting and hollering. And right now, he's going to be the one to take charge. Watch him pull off Ryan Jensen. And that's the difference. If you can show passion by how you answer with your play as opposed to your mouth, good things can happen. So right now, I'm seeing Jameis Winston smiling and having fun and making decisions not based on emotion, but based on passion, by his actions and not his words.
Well, look, the way Atlanta has moved the ball up and down the field, with the exception of being pinned inside its own 1-yard line on their last drive, we have seen Matt Ryan with more than the amount of time on the clock right now. Bang, 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 and out comes Matt Bryant for a long field goal try.
How happy is Smitty, though? Coach Smith, defensive coordinator. Guys responded to a challenge, and Dirk Cutter and Todd Monken have to be excited because they responded to a challenge.
Mike Smith had a real nice run here. 2008 to 14, 7 years as a head coach, 20 games over 500. Went to the playoffs 4 of his first 5 years, including a trip to the NFC Championship. And Visa halftime coming up shortly. How about it, Kurt Menefee?
Coming up on the jolly old Visa halftime, we'll talk about the game in England. Plus, the Chargers try to say cheerio to the Browns, and the Colts and Jets play a good old-fashioned American football game. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime.
Oh, chip, 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 cheerio.
Southern English, hillbilly. What was that?
Good stuff. The guys back there in Los Angeles coming up here shortly, and Ryan's going to air it out on first down. Not a surprise to anyone. And Hooper able to spin his way out of bounds up to the 40-yard line. That took a total of 7 seconds.
Now this you have to be smart, okay? Ryan Smith is playing corner up top. There's nothing threatening him. This is, understand the situation. There's 40 seconds to go. Right here, you have to get your depth. You have to get your depth. Leave the underneath stuff alone. Take away the 17-yarder and give up the 5-yarder. Know the situation and where you are on the field and the time left in the first half.
Once more, Ryan to throw it. Steps up underneath to Hardy. And good running room. That's another 17-yard pickup. It's inside the 45. Atlanta will spend its first time out. And they took a total of 14 seconds on these first 2 plays, Chris Spielman, spanning 35 yards. And now you're another completion away from one of the very best in the history of the game in Matt Bryant.
Well, 2 things. A mental error cost Tampa Bay. That's why they're in this position. And number 2, Matt Bryant in warm-ups. I track all the kickers in warm-ups. Knocked one in going this way from 59 yards away. He still has that leg at 43 years of age.
Really, really good. Really good. Now, we've talked a lot about these defenses, maybe a little more on Tampa Bay's side because they've given up the 21. And halftime, I'd like you to share some thoughts about what's got to change here. Because, some of the comments that were made by Dirk Cutter after the game 2 weeks ago when they gave up 48 points and almost 500 yards of offense against the Bears, and it wasn't like the Bears were lighting it up. Trubisky to 6 touchdowns, and there's another completion. This one to Julio Jones. That'll be his 7th catch, closing in on 85 receiving yards already.
What has to change is you play deep to short in these situations You don't run up and cover short passes and vacate an area. Justin Evans vacated the middle of the field, leaving a wide open throwing window before Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. And another thing is, in this situation, I might figure out where number 11 is. And I'm not going to jump anything underneath, knowing 11 is, one is in front, and 11 is probably behind. So what has to change is understanding and playing situational football. Take it from the chalkboard to the field. Until that changes, this is what you're going to get.
Matt Bryant has not missed a field goal attempt, 7 of 7 this year. This will come from 45 yards, it looks like. They go 48 yards to the Falcons on 3 pass plays in 20 total seconds, time off the clock. And now the Buccaneers are going to spin a timeout. Matt Ryan so far today has hit on 20 of 24, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's had a lot of wide open receivers.
He has, and guys that are really good, getting helped right there by missed tackle by Ryan Smith. Austin Hooper scores. He has rhythm, he has confidence, and they got just enough of a running game going to help him have those numbers at 20, 24, 240, and 2 TDs.
This guy has had such a great career. Of course, a one-time kicker for the Buccaneers, Matt Bryant. Out of the hold of Matt Bosher. Good snap, good hold, and this guy is money in the bank. Boy, what a career he has had. 43 years old, out of Orange, Texas, Matt Bryant. I mean, the older he gets, the better he gets. He went to his first Pro Bowl when he was 41 years old.
Yeah, and doesn't seem to have a loss of strength. And Matty Ice is celebrating. How about that? Down there, 26 seconds. 3 plays in 26 seconds. And 2 mental errors in the secondary for jumping underneath routes when deep runs are behind you.
They went 17, 14, then 17 on 3 pass plays, 48 yards to get in the field goal range. And all that momentum that the Buccaneers just had a moment ago feels like it's just been all the air let out of the balloon because the Falcons get the ball to start the second half. Julio Jones, a monster first half. We remember that game a year ago where he had 12 receptions for 253 yards against this Tampa Bay team. He's not far off from having that kind of day today, depending on the second half. To the final play of the opening half. Falcons 24, Buccaneers 13. The play of the first half. Presented by DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing. Beautiful pass play and strong, powerful running along the sideline by Mohamed Sanu with a touchdown. And that'll be the end of the first half. The Falcons 24, Tampa Bay 13. We now go to Kurt Menefee and the gang in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which begins right now. Into the corner of the end zone. The catch is made by Cameron Brate. Off the left side will go into the end zone untouched. Much needed touchdown for Tampa Bay. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. And well, it's been the Matt Ryan show here in the opening half. There's no debate about that, Chris Spielman.
See the adjustments. Everybody talks about halftime adjustments. Adjustments are made after every series, but the difference between college football players and NFL players, when you go into halftime, you recognize all the mistakes that you've made, especially in coverage. Usually pro teams don't make the same mistakes. So understanding down and distance, if you're in man coverage, don't look back at the quarterback. Those are the things that needs to adjust for this Tampa Bay defense to help their offense get some type of field position or at least get them the ball back in a hurry.
Well, Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense scored on 4 of 5 possessions. And the Falcons will get the ball to begin this third chapter. And a nice special teams play made, dropping Marvin Hall at the 15-yard line. And we check in with a halftime report from Karen Bryant.
All right, thanks, Tom. Coach Cutter said Jameis is playing fine. He feels pretty good about what he's doing. What he's not happy with is defense. He said, we are getting killed on third down. We have to improve that. On the other side of the field, Coach Q told me he feels pretty good about what they're doing on their third down. He said their defensive tackling is improving. The bad news is, though, Calvin Ridley is out for the rest of the game.
That is indeed a big hit. 6 touchdowns for the rookie out of Alabama. And was off to a good start here today. 3 catches for 47 yards the first 2 drives of the game. Flag down and a completed pass to Julio Jones. Jones had 7 receptions for 79 yards in the opening half.
So one adjustment might be, Tom, that Tampa Bay defense came out and blitzed right away and said, we're not going to sit back.
Offside, number 93, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And let Matt Ryan pick us apart. We have to do something to create or change the momentum. So Mike Smith, the defensive coordinator, dialed up the blitz, all-out blitz on the first play. Now you have to line up on sides to execute the blitz. Another mental mistake by that Tampa Bay defense.
So take away the completed pass. The Falcons will take the penalty. It's 1st and 5, and a pitch after stumbling to get it to Coleman was Matt Ryan, and that'll bring up 2nd down and close to 10.
Let's see if his foot is stepped on.
Yep. Looked like Wes Schweitzer, the left guard, got it. Matt Ryan hit on his first 12 pass attempts that tied his career high to start a game. Only 4 incompletions of the 24 attempts. 2 touchdowns. 2nd down and 10. Under heavy pressure, and again they brought the blitz that time. So clearly, Chris, you point out right away we're seeing a change of direction for this Tampa Bay defense.
Remember last week this offensive line gave up 6 sacks and 11 hits on Matt Ryan, and I don't know if that ball was tipped a little bit by MJ Stewart. But they're getting aggressive. I like it. Things aren't going well. You gave up 24 points sitting back. We're going down. We're going down, being aggressive.
Right, a 4 out of 5 on 3rd down. Set up the screen. And very nice open field tackling made right there by Quan Alexander.
It's a good play by Quan. Again, the second play he's made on the screen. Hugging up the blitz prevents these guys from getting to you. Watch this. Hugging up. Go up and hug that running back, because you create a space that the offensive lineman can't get to you from that angle. So that's excellent disciplined defense, smart defense by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get off to a quick start in their first series.
Well, it's been easy to kick Mike Smith around so far this year, but you also have to give him credit where credit is due. That's a 3 and out to begin the 2nd half, and this is Adam Humphries. And Jameis Winston and the Buccaneer offense on its first possession of this 2nd half will start a drive from its own 40. Tampa Bay needing a defensive stop and getting it to begin the 3rd quarter. Buccaneers needing that stop in the worst sort of way to begin this 2nd half on defense. And now on offense, the Bucs with excellent field position starting this drive from their own 40-yard line, trailing 24-13.
Hey, ready for the ball, ready. Ready.
Put it in the hands of Deshaun Jackson. And he picks up close to 6. You know, you talked about the emotion of Jameis Winston, the game week 9 last year in New Orleans. All starting with Lattimore and sticking a finger basically in his ear, and then Mike Evans comes over, leveled Lattimore, and then this today, a very different kind of reaction by Jameis.
And that's the reaction that you love. If you're a Tampa Bay fan, you understand that he's keeping his composure. By keeping his composure, he'll make better decisions. He won't make emotional decisions, because emotional decisions often lead to bad decisions.
Well, they give Jackson a gain of 7, so 2nd and 3, and wide open down down the middle of the field is Humphries. Inside the 10 and dropped down to the 2-yard line. First catch of the day for Adam Humphries, and it's a big one, putting the Falcons first and goal, 51 yards.
He's going to get a nice little rub route right about this area. Watch this. He's going to get picked off. Poole loses him by creating the same mistake that Tampa did by looking back to the quarterback. When you look back to the quarterback, the receiver's able to create space, and that's a trusted target of Jameis Winston. He loves to go to him, and they have a chemistry.
Well, they bring in out of the I formation Alan Cross with Barber behind him. First and goal to 2. And Barber denied the end zone. Maybe got to the 1-yard line. Kamal Ishmael in on the tackle.
Ishmael brought it. I mean, that's how you tackle. Did not leave his feet. Ran through this target. Didn't go to his knees on contact. This is really well done. Defensive line does a good job of keeping him clear. And look at that. Bring your feet on contact. Oh, it's exciting to see. Regardless of who you're rooting for, let's stand up and applaud a guy that wraps his arms.
Standing ovation from Chris Fieldman. And a play blown dead before it ever got started.
Yeah, they got quick, got jumpy there on the right side of the offensive line.
False start, number 82, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's all clear, the backup tight end, number 3 tight end.
I'm just reminded of seeing this Atlanta Falcon defense on the goal line. 1993, I meet Jesse Tuggle. I'm short yardage fullback. Jesse Tuggle, the great middle linebacker for the Hawks.
Yes.
He and I bump heads. It's like 2 rams on a mountain, man. It was something so primitive and beautiful about it. 2 guys bumping heads, fighting for supremacy, fighting for the territory.
Well, who won? Did you get in or not?
Yes, we scored.
A timeout is called. So, in other words, you and Jesse Tuggle, who I know you had incredible admiration for. He was out of Valdosta State. What a player he was. 14-year career, 5 Pro Bowls in the Falcons' Ring of Honor. And like 2 Rams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you described that last night, I thought to myself, that is the absolute perfect picture to see. 2 middle linebackers, pop. Right?
It was, because it's so rare that Wayne Fonts trusted me to be the short yardage fullback. And I know Jesse Tuggle, great respect for him. And I know his nickname, the Hammer. And here's my shot at the Hammer. And boy, us 2 collided. And it was like nobody I didn't knock him back. He didn't knock me back. We did score, but I sustained my block long enough to score. But I remember saying there was something so beautiful about this.
That's why you like this one?
Oh, yeah. And Ishmael is running free here right now. And he does a good job of getting that head in front, eyes up, head up, wrap up, bring your feet, come with bad intentions. You get a goal line stop. Adam Humphries in the backfield, option route.
Good protection, and off the defender's back and into the air, and it's intercepted by Poole. That is a second interception thrown inside the 5-yard line by Jameis Winston and hit Duke Riley in the back. And then a jump ball. Wow. Well, Jameis Winston started the day 1 behind Eli Manning, but he's turned it over twice, and so he is now in 2nd place for the most giveaways going back to 2015 among all players in the NFL.
Quarterback coach Mike Bajakian, he has great confidence in, going over how he missed Adam Humphries on a check down.
Play action to Smith, and down the middle of the field, it's simply dropped by Julio Jones. Should have been a first down.
Watch Duke Riley. I'm going to tell you something no announcers will ever tell you. By not looking back at the quarterback, keeping your eyes on the man, 2 things happen. First of all, you defend the double move because you're not looking back. Then you get in the throwing lane. You don't look back in the red zone. It bounces off your head, and you get a pick by exercising discipline. Now watch Humphries right here on the check down. Give him the ball in space. If you give him the ball in space, he's good enough and quick enough to make people miss down there.
One run the ball this time to Ito Smith, and he breaks a tackle up to the 25. A 3rd down and 5 upcoming, and we check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Vikings opening drive of the second half. Kirk Cousins finds Adam Thielen for this 13-yard touchdown. Thielen, you guys, over 100 yards for the 6th consecutive game. Vikings lead this one 20-10. Tom?
Thielen having a monster year.
That was Thielen on a linebacker. You don't think Cousins is going to exploit that, just like this guy does?
Thielen at 2nd most receiving yards in the NFL, second only to DeAndre Hopkins of the Houston Texans. 3rd down and 6. Blitz coming. You saw the sign given to Julio Jones from Ryan before the snap of the ball. And they clearly been on the same page for a long time, and that's a 1st down up to the 38-yard line.
Well, it's when you said it, Tom. They're on the same page for a long time. How about a little bit of communication? Then you have the secondary that has no awareness, zero awareness out here. You got 2 guys coming off on 1. Now, if it's 3rd and 6, the guy has like 40 catches for 1st downs this year, or close to 40 or 30 or whatever it is. You think you want to get up there and you want to challenge Julio Jones because he loves him on 3rd down.
Hey, Biggie, force!
That's scouting report. That's preparation.
Biggie, force!
3rd down, that's where he's going.
Smith again. Pierre Paul runs him down across the 40, and a late flag comes in.
Holding, number 71, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That'll be a Wes Schweitzer. 3rd year at left guard, started every game a season ago.
I'm seriously, and like he's not had touchdowns, but on 3rd downs, I think coming into the game, out of his 34 catches, 26 of them have gone for 1st downs. And that, that's a scouting report thing. You start eliminating things and saying, okay, who do I let go here, and who do I want to focus on? Well, on 3rd downs, focus on 11.
Another false start, 2 in a row.
False start, number 73, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
2 straight penalties on the Atlanta offensive line. Schweitzer and now the right tackle Ryan Schrader. Boy, he had a tough game last week against the Steelers.
He'll bounce back. He's done pretty solid today. That whole offensive line has been much better in protection and giving Matt Ryan time to survey the field, because Ryan is throwing the ball down the field 10 yards or more, and you have to have good protection to be able to allow the time for that guy to hit downfield routes plus 10 yards.
Ryan has not been sacked today. He was sacked 6 times, hit 11 other times in that game against the Steelers. Hooper up to the 31-yard line will bring up 2nd down. Whitehead on the stop. In fact, during the 3-game losing streak, Ryan had been sacked 12 times and hit 24 times by the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Saints.
A lot of shots on a veteran that has as many snaps and hits as he has in his body. He's a tough guy, though. All these quarterbacks in the NFL are tough guys.
Then why you always badmouth them?
No, not me. That's not me. I'm a group of light.
I don't know. I thought I heard contrary to that. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down.
I think that's Vita Vea, the #1 pick. Played his first game in Chicago. I think he got the big paw in the air. Didn't get much of a pass rush, but smart enough to understand to throw those hands in the air like you don't care if you're not getting anywhere. Big. Was that Nassib? Oh, that's Nassib. Yeah, Nassib does a good job.
Yeah, there are a lot of good football players around this league, and Nassib is one of them that played for the Cleveland Browns that they just let walk right out the door.
I mean, you saw that too. Anthony Zettel up in Detroit, guys that have had good careers.
And the first time, we just talked about it, that Ryan has been sacked today, and it's Jason Pierre-Paul. This Tampa Bay team has 9 sacks on the year, and Paul has 5 of the 9.
Yeah, one thing you're getting from this guy is relentless effort. You're going to see Nassib come inside, Pierre-Paul coming inside, beating Schweitzer, getting on his edge, and is able to finish. Great effort guy, JPP.
It's 4 straight games with a sack for Jason Pierre-Paul. First Buccaneer to do that since a great Simeon Rice back in the 2004 year. And this will be a second straight possession where the Buccaneers get great field position. All of a sudden, this Tampa Bay defense has come alive. Well, Chris, we talk about it all the time. You can dive into every stat you want to dive into. At the end of the day, that one on the far right-hand column, which of course is a part of turnovers, is generally where you'll find the winning team and the losing team.
They still have plenty of opportunity. The defense for Tampa Bay, a huge stop off of a turnover. Got a little assist from some penalties by the Falcons. Nevertheless, they got the stop and created field position for Jameis and company.
A little more than midway through this third quarter. And a first down carry to Barber, and good, strong, powerful running. I tell you, when they put the ball in his hands so far today, he's been pretty good, averaging better than 5 yards a carry, and he got 7 there on first down.
Yeah, and you look at it, I mean, the Falcons defense gives up about 5 yards per rush. And so they're certainly vulnerable in that area, especially with Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, Keanu Neal out of the mix, the heart of that defense, right down the middle.
Offset eye, they're going to throw out of it. Good protection. And that is O.J. Howard, the tight end, for a first down to the Atlanta 33-32, run out of bounds. And we run out to Los Angeles with one of our all-time favorites, Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. You're the best. Bears up 14-10 in Miami when Mitchell Trubisky hands it off to Tariq Cohen, who takes it all the way for a 21-yard score. Bears leading this one 21-10. Tom, Chris, and Tom.
Monsters of the Midway. Chris Spielman.
They've found it offensively. They found their groove. Mitchell Trubisky getting better and better. You get a good response by the Tampa Bay. Right in this area, Tom, sometimes you like to take shots in the end zone because you have enough room to work right before you enter the red zone.
We have Jones wide open. And then comes back to Howard. And that is a first down at the 15-yard line. Boy, in that game 2 weeks ago in Chicago, when Howard injured his knee, the initial reports were that he was going to miss anywhere from 2 weeks to as many as 4 weeks. And here he is, Chris, after a bye week, right back on the field.
Well, he's such a weapon because all tight ends that can stretch the field helps everybody involved. Once he gets going and gets completely healthy, he's a tough out.
3 receptions, 47 yards for the second-year tight end out of Alabama. Barber. Met head on by Devondre Campbell for no gain. Well, 2 possessions, excellent field position in this third quarter for the Buccaneers. An interception in the end zone. Stalled the first drive, and we'll see here on 2nd and 10 at the Atlanta 15. Jones for a short gain, but a gain nonetheless down to the 11-yard line.
Be interesting right here to see what Atlanta does. Remember, they're banged up too. Usually in this situation, you want to play man-to-man defense. A lot of times you will bring a blitz or some type of pressure because the ball has to come out in a hurry because the field's so constricted. All routes have to be run quicker and faster.
And their running backs have been wide open in these situations. It's Barber to the right of Winston on a 3rd down foul.
That's his guy. Great.
And now Winston will be gobbled up back at the 18-yard line. McKinley along with Jack Crawford in on the sack of Winston.
Jack Crawford gets the initial penetration. McKinley's going to give you a relentless effort. There's Crawford. Oh, nice, beautiful spin move on Benenoch, number 77. Don't get up and celebrate. You still got football. No whistle. Keep playing. Especially with Jameis, who's very strong in that pocket. And Jameis did a good job of protecting the football with 2 hands, not forcing it.
All right, a field goal try now for Catanzaro. This one from 35 yards out. And it is good. So it is now a one-possession game at 24-16, but only 3 points on 2 trips in the red zone for Tampa Bay. Welcome back to the Mercedes-Benz Supercharged Stadium they have down here in Atlanta, Georgia. First time they've ever opened it for a day game. They did open it for a night game one other time. Last year it didn't work. This Falcons offense would score touchdowns on its first 3 possessions. All of a sudden, the last 4 possessions, 3 punts and a field goal. Well, coming up this Saturday, all of a sudden, this looks like a ball game, Chris Spielman. Big Ten country, big league football. The high-flying Michigan Wolverines after a win last night over Wisconsin. And how about Sparty? Your guy Mark D'Antonio, his team knocking off Penn State in Happy Valley yesterday. It's a big-time game here on Fox.
Absolutely. And you look at Shea Patterson, transfer quarterback from Ole Miss, is starting to get a feel. First mobile quarterback that Jim Harbaugh has had at Michigan.
They lost their season opener in Notre Dame, but they have won every one of them since then. First down pitch to Coleman. And he's dropped at the 27-yard line.
So let's not forget now, right? Not only did Tampa struggle defensively, but you look at Atlanta's numbers. They're not a great defensive team. We know that Tampa's offense, whether it's Fitzpatrick or Winston, can move the ball and score in a hurry. So it's incumbent upon these guys, this offensive side of the ball, the red shirts, to at least get some type of drive going to give a defense that's injured and has not had a lot of success throughout the year some type of break.
Coleman on the pitch, and a big gain for Coleman. A first down up to the 43-yard line.
Well, if you guess wrong, you better be right, and he wasn't. And Quan Alexander. Quan's going to take an angle, and he's going to come inside where he needs to stay outside to force the ball back in to the pursuing linebackers. Watch him jump inside, creating this space right there. He's got to go outside, force the ball back into the 8 other guys that are coming back from the inside. If you guess, you better be right, or you get hurt and you open up space and gaps.
15-yard run for Coleman, his longest of the afternoon. Vito Smith will replace him. Short drop, quick throw, dropped by Hardy. Checking downstairs with Karen Bryant.
All right, well, we are hearing that number 12, Mohamed Sanu, wide receiver for the Falcons, is questionable with a hip injury. We know we've already lost Calvin Ridley. So, guys, maybe today is the day that Julio Jones gets a touchdown.
We'll see. He becomes the target. And you're right, Karen. I mean, that would be a big loss when you lose the 2 top guys.
No doubt about it.
That have had great years because of the attention that man receives on a down-to-down basis.
Second down and 10. They hand it off to Coleman. And he is spun down up to the 47-yard line. That'll be a gain, depending on the spot. They'll put it at the 47, gain of 4. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
Well, Levante David made a heck of a play, Tom, because if he doesn't get him, he's into the secondary about 12 yards deep. It's a reliable, consistent player, Levante David. Instinctive. Big 3rd down. Let's see if Smitty gets aggressive. Looks like a little bit of man coverage up here. And right here with Ryan Smith and Julio Jones.
We talked about Jones on 3rd down, and they're looking his way. But instead it is dropped by the tight end Hooper, who is looking for a flag. I'm not sure he gets to the 1st down anyway.
So Ryan Smith does a great job, and Mike Smith does a great job because this is bracket coverage. 1 outside, 1 inside. So Ryan sees it well, hits Hooper right in the hands, and that's a 3rd drop in the last 2 series by normally guys that catch the ball. But that's execution by the Tampa Bay defense of what Mike Smith calls, and you're able to put it together on a key 3rd down.
Now the final 29 seconds of this 3rd quarter, and once more the Tampa Bay defense is all of a sudden playing its best football of this season, and that's not an exaggeration. This one punted by Bosher, and he'll pin Tampa Bay down at the 15-yard line. And we're back after this message from Verizon. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had excellent field position their first 2 drives of this half, and they only came away with 3 points. They had the interception in the end zone. They got the field goal once they got down to the 15-yard line their last drive, and now this one starts from their own 15.
Remember, this defense is limited in its star players being out. Can Jameis Winston make plays?
It'll be Barber.
Nice cut.
Big running room for Peyton Barber. And the former Auburn Tigers stand out all the way to the 40-yard line. 25-yard carry by Barber, who, when given the ball, is having an excellent game. Tell you what, it's a big game for both of these teams. And we're heading to the fourth quarter. 24-16, Atlanta in front. We talked about from the very beginning how these defenses have struggled, and it looked like a long day for that group right there, Chris Spielman, until the second half got underway.
Yeah, you can feel a couple ways about that, right? I mean, I get it. You're having fun. You're playing. You're enjoying the game. Fine. You're still down. You still need to stop. So as long as you can do that stuff and maintain your focus, all good. Let's see how they respond when next time they're on the field. And can this offense respond?
Take it one way, they come back the other way, and that's Humphries. Well, what a dependable, just solid player Humphries has become. A free agent out of Clemson a year ago. At 61 reception, and he's closing in on 160 his first 3 years in the league.
Yeah. And he's, like we talked about it in the first half, and number 3, trust him. He knows he's going to be open. And I think when Jameis looks at the film, when he threw the interception in the end zone, he's going to say, why didn't I go with my instinct and the guy that I trust? And we pointed out where Adam Humphries was wide open in the flat.
One day.
First down and 10. And he steps into the throw, and there's Deshaun Jackson. And he is wrapped up at the 28-yard line.
Just because of the speed, he's able to get shoulders turned by Desmond Trufant. Well, why is that important, Chris? It's important because you can't get a great break on the football. See the center field turn he had to make? Because he was in a running position and his shoulders were turned, he couldn't get a great break, and this respect that Deshaun Jackson commands because of his speed allows him to run a sharp outlet.
Barber just runs right through Brian Poole, or maybe it was Jordan Richards. Hard to tell. They were both right there, but I mean, Barber, powerful running. Let's see who he got.
And I apologize for jumping, but you know, this is what I love, right?
Yep. Richards.
You know, when you have a safety stepping up, and Barber, who's running angry and with a lot of confidence, makes an effort play like that. Not only does that fire up a crazy ex-football player announcer in the booth, but that gets the offensive line going. That gets everybody going. It gets the bench going. That's effort, that's toughness, that's playing to win.
Makes you wonder why they're not giving the ball a little bit more to Barber. 12 carries, 82 yards in the game. And now they're going to throw it. And it's caught by Evans down to the 10-yard line. That'll bring up a second down and 2, and the Buccaneers are a touchdown and a successful 2-point try away from tying this game.
Well, if you're going to play any type of soft zone or man, you have to close a little bit. You're giving up too much space to work, and Mike Evans is too smooth of a route runner that he will create his own space by the efficiency of how he runs routes.
We got a second down and short of 2, call the yard. They're going to run it. I'm not sure he got there. I don't think he did. Needed to get to the 8-yard line.
Well, Crawford does a great swim move. Beninock is going to throw a no-hitter right here. He's going to miss because his eyes, we talk about eyes, his eyes go down. Here comes the swim move. Watch Crawford on his swim move. Beninock's head will go down, and we're going to see it right here. See, his head went right down. Crawford beat him with quickness and speed off the snap count, got the edge, and was able to penetrate in the backfield, stopping Barber before he gets going.
This is a must third down conversion. I know there's a long way to go.
Play action.
Yep, play action. They're going to throw it. And it is a touchdown to Godwin into the end zone, and now a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up.
That's an answer right there. You almost felt the play action on that because they're having trouble with these big wide receivers, and it ends up being a bunch route. Godwin's just going to find a hole, recognizing that zone, sits it down in the zone. Easy pitch and catch from Jameis Winston. How about the calmness of Jameis Winston? No emotion, just composure and leadership from number 3, even after throwing turnovers.
Now they're going for the top.
So if I'm Atlanta Falcons, I'm blitzing, playing man coverage, and I'm bringing heat, forcing him to make a decision.
Up under center. Looking for Jones, and nobody else home. Under huge pressure that time from McKinley. He had a couple of receivers open. A 2-point game. Nearly a full quarter to go in Atlanta.
Finally, offense and defense coming together. Gerald McCoy congratulating his men after a nice scoring drive. And I'll tell you, if you're a Buccaneer player and you're Dirk Cutter, you've been looking for this type of half from your football team all year, where both units in all 3 phases are playing together, and that man is getting cooperation from his players because they're not making mental errors in the back end, and they're staying disciplined, and they're getting after it. They're playing like pros.
All of a sudden, this is a ball game. And that one banged through the back of the end zone. 11:34 to go. Matt Ryan and the Falcons look virtually unstoppable. Their first 3 drives of this game. And let's quickly go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
And keeping an eye on the NFC South, here come the Carolina Panthers. Cam hooking up with Torrey Smith. Same combination, got the 2-point conversion as well. And they're within a field goal in the 4th quarter at Washington. Tom, Chris, and Karen.
Well, you knew that was a matter of time. Cam Newton, his team has won 3 of its first 4 games. But look at the yards of the way the Falcons started on offense and the way it's gone lately. This one down the field, this will improve those numbers to Julio Jones. Down to the 44-yard line and a big first down pickup.
So how many pass rush moves do you see receivers throw? Well, get ready, because you're going to see a pass rush move by Julio Jones. Watch him grab the jersey, gets away with that, and a swim move over Ryan Smith. You have to account for Julio Jones. Here's why. As we see an injured player down on the field, you have Sanu out, right? You have Ridley out. You have to force the other 2 guys, whether that's number 17, Marvin Hall, number 14, Justin Hardy, to beat you. And you see Gerald McCoy is down, helping up. Hopefully he'll be okay and be able to return to the game. He usually is a guy that bounces back quickly from injury, although that looks a little ginger on the foot. But I'm going back to my point. Start playing the results and start playing the percentages. Matt's going to look for Julio. You have your 2 other guys that are really good players. They're out. Trust that you'll win those one-on-one battles and put 2 on number 11, not 1. Don't leave Ryan Smith on an island with Julio Jones.
Talked about the first 3 possessions, 21 points, 219 total yards. Their last 5 possessions, 20 plays, 86 yards, 4 3-and-outs, and only 3 points.
Make the other guys beat you. Take away the star.
That's Hardy's in there for Ridley and Muhammad. And Ryan aired it out, looking for Julio Jones. And outstanding coverage by Brent Grimes. Doesn't get any better than that.
No, sir, but he's underthrown. Matt Ryan's going to wish he's going to have this back, and they're going one-on-one with Brent Grimes. We told you it's not that hard to figure out that he's going to go after. Brent Grimes not going on a double move. And look at him turn back and use his body. That technique is called look and lean. When you look and you lean back into him, you're not going to get cold. And that ball was underthrown because he was over the top of Brent Grimes. Matt Ryan's going to wish he had that one back.
Pitch it to Coleman. And Ryan forcing him to try and cut it back to the inside. That'll be a gain of maybe a yard. And it brings out a very important 3rd down now for both this Atlanta offense and this Tampa Bay defense. Big numbers again for Jones. That's been his MO in his career, though, against Tampa Bay. He's averaged 7 catches and 118 yards per game in his career against the Buccaneers.
So let's see if Mike Smith dials up some type of bracket coverage, one inside and one outside, or a high-low coverage on number 11, Julio Jones. And somebody else make a play. Here's Brent Grimes, your best cover guy right here, matching up with Julio.
Third down, they're coming after Ryan, and now he's in trouble. But he has running room. And Ryan will dive for the first down to the 30-yard line. Took a big hit. But Ryan staying on his feet enough to move the chains.
Matt Ryan not forcing the football. No panic. We'll take a throwing lane. Convert it. And going back to his BC Boston College days. Becomes a runner and a scrambler. Understanding where the sticks are. Cut it back inside. Knew he was going to take a big shot from Quan Alexander.
So now you're certainly in field goal range. It'll be a long one, but we know Bryant's more than capable of that. Falcons are thinking about a touchdown. What about Gerald McCoy, Karen Bryant?
Well, what I can tell you is moments ago he had a team of the doctors working on him. It looks to be his right calf. Right now he is on the sidelines trying to walk it off, but if I'm reading his body language, it doesn't look great.
That's a big miss for right there. Gerald McCoy, because he commands so much attention in double teams because of the quick get off and the strength that he plays with, that helps the linebackers. Plus they're thin at that position.
It's too bad. Second down and 10. And the catch is made by Russell Gage, the first of his NFL career, the rookie out of LSU. And he hauls in the reception.
Watch this play. These guys are no intention of being receivers. They're automatic blockers. You get a flat route. We see every team run this. This is just like a quick screen that's downfield. It has to be timed properly so you don't get a pass interference. But those two guys on the outside, no intention of being receivers. They're automatically blockers before the ball's even snapped. Chicago Bears run that play a lot and run it with effectiveness.
Third down and less than a yard. And they give it to Smith. And it looks like he has enough for a first down. He does. And Karen Bryant is just now reporting that it's official. At least that's what she's told down on the sideline, that Gerald McCoy will not be returning.
So they have Vita Vea in there, Bo Allen, and also know that William Golston, normally a defensive end, has experience this year playing down inside as a 3 technique. That's outside shoulder of the guard as a defensive tackle.
Smith again. Nowhere to go.
So why they're running, this is a toss that's inside. They've had success running the toss outside, so when they run that toss look, they're trying to get that Buccaneer defense to fly to the outside, hoping that will open up an inside. That's why Sark is calling that toss. Now, what you have off of that, maybe out in the field, you might have a toss little flea flicker that looks the same as that play. Something to keep in the wings, and I guarantee you that's in their playbook, and we might not see it this game, but we'll see it sometime this year.
It's a huge, huge defensive stand here for Tampa Bay. A touchdown on a point after, and this one's all but over. To the end zone. And it is caught for a first down at the 5 by Austin Hooper. Well, what a weapon he's turning into.
Such a size advantage, too. When he's off, that's a nice release. He's going to run what they call 7 cut. That's up the field and run to the flag. Beats his man Ryan Smith one-on-one, and because of the size advantage, Matt Ryan understands where his guy or no guy gets it.
That's really good coverage out there, but Hooper, the third-year tight end out of Stanford, able to haul it in. And Hooper, we mentioned he had a career-high 9 receptions, 77 yards in a loss to the Steelers a week ago. Well, he has 8 more receptions here today. So the last 2 games, 17 for him, and just ho-hum, another weapon for Matt Ryan. But right now, Chris, this is where if you're the Falcons, you can all but put it away with a touchdown. If you're Tampa Bay, you hold them to a field goal, you still have a fighting chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the time where they have such a difficult time because of their youth, and they're not the biggest secondary out there. Remember, one of their bigger secondary corners, Carlton Davis, is out, and they really miss him. Ryan Smith, in fact, is taking Carlton Davis's spot. But I think here, if I'm Mike Smith, I have to get aggressive and force him to beat me one-on-one, but I have to force him to make a quick decision and bring some type of pressure.
Drive began on their own 25, 9 plays, almost 70 yards, 4.5 minutes. It's kind of drive you put together when you're trying to put a team away. Now, granted, we have just under 7 minutes to go, so there is enough time, even if they score a touchdown, to get a touchdown and a field goal, but it becomes a 2-possession game if you're successful on the point after. And they start the clock, 6:41 to go. Rolling right, lofting to the end zone. And it is a touchdown for Tevin Coleman.
So it's a communication problem again. You got guys like here. Look, everybody's talking. Quan Alexander, Levante David look a little bit confused. Either you're rushing, somebody's got to come off and play man coverage. And we saw before the snap that linebackers were turning and chirping each other. Lack of communication.
Point after. To make it a 2-possession game. Bryant has only missed one all year. Still only one all year. So it makes it a 9-point game. Tevin Coleman, his second receiving touchdown of this year.
Sit down.
Dan Quinn very excited at his team ending this losing streak, or trying to end this losing streak. That touchdown drive, thanks in large part, kept alive on the 3rd and 9 run. A 13-yard gain by Matt Ryan. Still a long way to go in this one, 6:28 to go. Dan Quinn was a 2-sport athlete in his college days. Salisbury University, the Seagulls in Salisbury, Maryland, on the football team. 2-time captain. Take a look at it.
Yeah, looks like he had a bunch of Salisbury steaks down there at Salisbury State.
Now this looks like something out of the 1940s. He threw the hammer on the track and field team. Look at that shot.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Like all these guys, they're excellent guys, and I'll tell you, his players respond to him. Stays positive. It's like Dirk Cutter. Keeping it in the locker room. Staying positive.
All right, now Jameis Winston going to work. Across the middle. Great way to get it started. Deshaun Jackson up to the 44-yard line. That'll be a gain of 19 on first down for Deshaun Jackson.
Like we're telling you, they're no huddle, right? And the Falcons defense hasn't lit it up on fire. You have 2 first-rounders, McKinley and Beasley, that you invested in pass rushers. This is why you invest first-rounders in pass rushers. 4th quarter, 6 minutes to go. You need pressure. 1, 2.
Well, they are burning a lot of time. After the long completion, they huddled up. And now they go to Barber, who's out of bounds. The clock will continue to run. That is only a 3-yard gain on first down. This time they will not huddle up. Boy, it's just little things. I mean, you just never know when the difference of 20 or 25 seconds is going to help your team at the end of a game. And they lost nearly a full 40 seconds by huddling up after that first down catch. Incomplete on second down. So now it'll be 3rd down. Good coverage by Poole. He's been all over the field today.
They did a good job of not creating contact before the ball arrived. It's a really nice job of coming over and keeping that right arm out of it. There's Brandon Poole right here. Good break on the football, getting that left arm in there, right arm dragging behind so he doesn't get a PI.
Cole got off to a great start this year. Hasn't seen as much playing time of late, but he's played very well today.
Mike Evans, one-on-one. Money man.
We've not called his name much today. Three catches for 40 yards. And again, it looks like he got his hands up late. He's going to draw a penalty. But that looked like the third time today where he was almost not even expecting the ball to be on him so quickly.
And that's because and for this time, Alford is basically mugged him.
All right.
And hammered him down there and almost tried to like pull his, like a hockey fight, pull a sweater over the helmet.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Offsides. That penalty's declined. Prior to the pass holding, number 44, defense, that penalty would be accepted. 5 yards, first down.
You know, we circled him because anytime that Mike Evans is away from the 3 wide receivers, they do that to isolate him. Have him work on one-on-one with Alford. You'll see it right here. See, he's one-on-one with Alford. Now watch, Alford is going to get a little bit grabby right here. See that? Pulling the helmet down. A good call by the officials. That's why he was late on that one, Tom. But I agree with you earlier. Timing was off a little bit, but they're getting it going. They're getting in rhythm.
Set up a screen to Barber. Cuts it back to the inside and still on his feet. And shoved forward up to the 40-yard line. That'll be a gain of 8. Boy, I tell you, he's looked good today. Getting a chance to touch the ball a little bit more. 4 catches. 13 rushes for 82 yards. Better than 6 yards per carry today.
You know what you want out of your football players? All you get from that kid is all he has. Every single time he touches the ball.
Going for the home run ball into Sean Jackson and slightly overthrew it. The Trufant beat.
Well, that's just the connection that they've been looking for. Trufant does a good job of running with Deshaun Jackson. Breaks open in the flat. Jameis wants to go for it all, which he does have him open. You have to put that ball to him and not away from him. Throw the middle. Throw it to the outside. Go ahead.
In a day and age where almost everything is called pass interference, how in the world is that not contact on Trufant?
We talked about it earlier in the game. These officials are letting them go a little bit back there. Unless you get a blatant hold.
If I'm Dirk Cutter, I'm wondering what in the world is going on. That is a first down reception made by Godwin. 4:24 to go. And it's a 2-possession game. Throws it into traffic. And juggling for the ball, and ends up in the hands on the far side of Godwin. That ball was in the hands of Braid. It looked like it hit a Falcon in the back. Good coverage by Campbell. How about this play?
Yeah, actually great coverage by Campbell, and that ball has a chance to be caught by any team. And we talk about it all the time. Games come down to 4 or 5 plays. Who's going to make a critical play in a critical time? And Godwin stepped up big by not giving up on the play.
Timeout going to be spent by Atlanta. Under 4 to go. We have Jameis Winston. 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Matt Ryan, 3 touchdowns, 300+ yards. But it's a 2-possession game. And the clock favors Atlanta, so too does the score, although Tampa Bay trying to get in.
Smart timeout by Dan Quinn. Get some fresh pass rushers in the ball game, including Beasley and McKinley.
First down at 10 at the 20. And that's O.J. Howard. And a big tight end run out of bounds at the 5-yard line. First and goal.
It's automatic, right? He sees Devontae Campbell, who's done a decent job in coverage, but it's just such a tough matchup for a linebacker. And O.J. Howard's running a good route of accelerating out of his route, and nice snag with the fingertips.
All righty, first down and goal with 3:52 to go. And Winston. A touchdown pass to Peyton Barber. And all of a sudden, what a drive put together by Winston and the Buccaneers. Began from their own 25-yard line, so they go 75 yards.
Well, yeah, why is he so open? Because Devondre Campbell's going to run out and double Cam Brate, because Cam Brate has 17 red zone touchdowns in his career. Barber just finds the open hole, and it's easy pitch and catch. That's just recognition. Mental error by the Falcons on defense.
And really, you go back to that missed point after on the game's very first touchdown. And you'd say, well, it's only 1 point he missed, but it forced you into going for 2 another time where you failed to get it.
Absolutely.
Talked about the missed point after by Catanzaro when the Buccaneers jumped out to a 6-0 lead. You had the bomb that was intercepted inside the 5-yard line by KZ. And then the ball that hit Riley in the back and wound up being an interception for Poole. Those are the 2 interceptions thrown by Winston. His first start of the year now with 4 touchdown passes.
So one of the reasons why you look at the Buccaneers, they're in good shape right here. 3 timeouts left. So plenty of time. And the question is, can Dirk Cutter, can Mike Smith, can the defensive guys rally, dial up another stop? They played pretty consistent, stopping Matt Ryan and those guys so far throughout the second half. Gave up the score, but played much better in the second half than the first half, and they need a huge stop.
Well, you figure they're going to kick it off deep. They have all 3 timeouts left, and that they do. All righty, so here we go. Big 3:47 left to play, and a reminder coming your way on Thursday. Von Miller and the Broncos going to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals and Larry Fitzgerald. Thursday Night Football, 7:30 Eastern on Fox, the NFL Network, streaming on Prime Video.
I think if you're Atlanta, the one thing you want to do, you start running the ball. And if I'm Tampa, that's the percentages that Tampa Bay, excuse me, that's the percentages that I'm playing, forcing Tampa Bay to use their timeouts.
All right, first down from their 25-yard line. And they'll start off by throwing it.
Got Julio.
One way, roll the other. And there's Julio Jones. How in the world is Julio Jones that open? It's unbelievable. Let's go to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. So a back and forth game here in Miami. Dolphins down by 7. Ryan Tannehill was out with that shoulder injury. So Brock Osweiler under center finds Albert Wilson for the second time today. We are all tied up at 28, and we will get you out to that game, time permitting. Tom?
Okay, the other part that doesn't make a lot of sense is Julio Jones running out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's where he's just got to sit down.
Good point.
They're going to run it. They pitch it. Real good defense right there by Levante David. The Buccaneers are going to spend a timeout.
Well, they saved a timeout by Julio Jones. Everybody's thinking run, right? Julio Jones just sneaks across the field. Right now, stay in bounds or get down or slide or do something. He knows immediately that he made the mistake. And that's why you practice and drill every little detail. KB reported early before the game that Matt Ryan said this. It's a matter of executing the details, right? That's what's been the difference for this Falcons team at a 1-4 start as opposed to a 4-1 start. That's a little detail that will not go unnoticed, and that will be coached upon hard come Monday afternoon.
Well, those are the things about the superstar players.
Yes.
You know, oftentimes we overlook plays like that because they've had a monster day, and Jones has 10 catches, 143 yards. But that's just knowing the situation. Second down. And on the cross. Oh, boy, laying in wait right there was Levante David. And now another timeout spent by the Buccaneers, bringing up a 3rd down and 8.
This is a rookie mistake because he's running into a zone. Ito Smith is going to be coming out of your screen. He's going to run into a zone. The rule is on zone coverage, sit it down. Don't bring it across the field. And Matt Ryan forced him, threw that ball out in front of him, which opened him up for the big hit. But that's something that he'll learn. If it's zone coverage, sit it down. If it's man coverage, you run across the field.
Well, it looked like the Falcons were going to blow Tampa Bay out of the gym, but this Buccaneers defense really for the first time this entire year has come to play here in the second half, allowing just the touchdown. But this is the biggest play of the game.
Not surprised. They're pros. A lot of pride. Here's your two main targets.
They need to get to the 47-yard line for a first down. Great protection. And they're right on the marker. It all depends on the spot. On the catch by Hooper, which ties his career high set just a week ago, his 9th reception of the game. And it's 4th down.
Well, he's on the yellow line now.
Well, they say first down. Boy, he was being held on to there.
Well, that's the strength of Austin Hooper. Levante David all over him, but the big body makes it difficult for Hooper to get around, and we'll see where that ball is. I think that's a first down.
Well, obviously they're going to look at it.
And that's close. Critical plays, critical time, game of inches. Break out all the cliches because they're happening right now.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and it seems like every single game, and you read about it, you hear about it, cliches, you know, 4 or 5 plays here, 4 or 5 plays there. Dirk Cutter saying there's no way that ball should have been spotted where it was. See where the ball is now.
Now he's not on.
Doesn't look like he got there to me, but we'll find out for sure from Walt Coleman.
I think it's going to be as stands. Just a prediction or guess.
Well, apparently they've already confirmed it. So it is a first down, and now the clock with 3:04 to go, and the Buccaneers are out of timeouts. Not over yet. Still a field goal game. Into the hands of Ito Smith. Boy, he took a hit from Quan Alexander. And Mike Pereira in Los Angeles, just to get your thoughts, did you think that was a correct spot?
Well, I'll tell you, it's impossible to tell. He had to get to the 47-yard line, and you're going to see him come down here. The yellow line's not quite lined up accurately there. And, of course, Dirk Cutter called the timeout, so he didn't have any left. So he couldn't challenge it, even if he wanted to. So they had to stay with what was on the field.
Clock continuing to run. They'll have to snap it one more time before the 2-minute warning. Play clock down to 7 on a second down and 11. Blitz coming. Get it away. And Hardy is 1.5 yards short of a first down, and this will take us to the 2-minute warning. So a second, third down play coming up. They spotted just inside the 40, so it's going to be third down and every bit of 2.5 yards. This one's still not decided. Well, coming up after this one, we'll send you to Los Angeles for the State Farm postgame show with Kurt and the gang. A third down and 2. You convert here, barring a disaster. Dan Quinn's team comes home with its second victory of the season. Ball game. Julio Jones at the top of your screen up there with Brent Grimes.
Smart. Take a timeout.
Yep.
Good call. Smart.
And let's go back to Los Angeles to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Bengals down by 6 late in the 4th. Andy Dalton hands it off to Joe Mixon, who takes it in for the 4-yard score. This put the Bengals up 21-20, but Antonio Brown literally just scored while we're watching this. So it's now 26-21 Steelers with 10 seconds left. Tom?
That should come as no surprise at all. The Steelers have owned the Bengals. That would be a 7th straight win. Pittsburgh going back to the playoffs, that game 2.5 years ago.
This ball game, still watch your heart count if you're on defense.
And bouncing off a tackle and denied the first down yardage is Tevin Coleman. So now you're going to send out Bryant. This would be roughly a, what, 58-yard field goal try? There's no way they're trying this field goal.
Ron Alexander running free slows him up enough to allow the troops to rally. And remember, we talked about this in warm-ups going this way. Matt Bryant hit from 59.
Boy, if you don't make this here, you are giving Tampa Bay the football at the 40-yard line. Snap, hold, and Bryant has done it again. The ageless one, Matt Bryant. And boy, what a gutsy call that is right there by Dan Quinn. That is one gutsy call.
It is. And you got trust in the 43-year-old kicker. And here's why. On time. Clutch.
Boy, he is something else.
Let's see how this clears. Oh.
And I think Bryant is hurt. In fact, he is hurt. Arthur Blank, the owner of this franchise, he's fired up. So too is Quinn. But then now they're watching their kicker be helped off the field.
He's not the kickoff man, so if you're concerned about that, but he gave everything he had in that kick, and looks like his kicking leg was the one that's hurt, and he's walking a little bit better now. That's everything he had, and that was money and clutch. Now, still a lot of time. We just saw Pittsburgh Steelers go down the field with Antonio Brown.
Yep.
Still plenty of time, especially against a secondary and a defense that has struggled all year.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, I said it at the time, talked about this was a risky call by Dan Quinn. But, that old saying about, you want to be good, you can play it safe. You want to be great, sometimes you got to take chances. As Bryant, 43 years young, hits from 57 out. And injures look like his hamstring or behind his knee on that kick. But golly day, I mean, if he doesn't make it, all the Buccaneers need is a field goal to win this game.
Yeah, well, and that's Dan Quinn's personality, right? He trusts his guys.
I mean, that is
playing to win. That is.
It really is.
It goes against everything the safe route. I'm not safe. Safety last, not safety first. And Bryant delivered for him. Now we got a game.
We got 1:04 to go. But now, because of the field goal, the Buccaneers need the touchdown. And you continue to come back to the missed extra point by Catanzaro. Now you can say again, it's only 1 point, but you have to remember they were forced to go for 2. Okay, so that was one they didn't get. So in essence, that's a 2-point swing. And right now, all Winston would have to do is get him into field goal range to try and tie it up.
You'll take a look, and what Atlanta's doing is they're protecting the back end. Their safeties are playing deep. Look how deep we are. You want to make sure you have Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson covered down the field.
Winston to Jackson. And again, they're out of timeouts. So they're going to have to hurry up. There's a penalty flag down, which will stop the clock.
Prior to the pass, holding number 34, defense. That penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
But they're going to start the clock, so Tampa Bay's got to get to the line of scrimmage. Because once they blow the whistle, the clock will start.
If you're Atlanta, you still want to defend the middle of the field. Plenty of time left. Jameis can get him lined up in a hurry.
And Winston turns it loose. Catch made again. But staying in bounds is Evans.
There's no panic on the Buccaneers' part. The ball just got thrown away. You might want to stop the clock and reset it. Here we go.
Down to 31 ticks remaining. Ball at the Atlanta 41-yard line. Down the middle it is Humphries to the 20. Clock continues to run. We're at 20 seconds. They have to spike the ball quickly and get it up there. Or do they just go to Evans in the corner in the top of your screen by himself? No, they're going to spike it. Boy, you thought there for a second when Winston looked over there, he saw Evans all alone with Trufant.
You have 12 seconds, so you figure you have at least 2 plays to get off. Understand, Cameron Brate is a weapon down here. Mike Evans with the size matchup on Trufant. You throw the jump ball. Evans is in the slot. Brate is in the slot opposite of Evans. There's Evans. There's Brate.
Winston taking a lot of time and finally throws it away, and now they're down to one final play.
They had both Evans and Brate double deep, forcing Winston to pull the ball down and throw it out. You're going to see on this replay that all guys are going to have this guy covered double, this guy covered double. They understand the red zone threats that the Buccaneers face. Now you bring in O.J. Howard.
And the Falcons are putting in Julio Jones as a safety over the top.
He's going to go up and win any jump ball. Now your 2 biggest threats, your best chance. O.J. Howard right here in the slot. Evans down here.
Falcons are all going to rush 3. And Winston is pitching the ball backwards. And it is now flipped to Deshaun Jackson, and the ball's out of bounds. They almost pulled off the miracle. If Jackson fields that ball cleanly, he might have a chance for a touchdown. Wow. This would have been beyond belief.
I've never seen this in all this football. Besides a kickoff return, this is designed for Jameis to throw it backwards. Right there's Humphries. He doesn't field it cleanly. Evans is there. It's set up for Deshaun Jackson on all the way on the outside. And Deshaun Jackson just could not field it cleanly, or he could have used his speed to get to that flag in the end zone.
Humphries couldn't find the handle, and then Evans just turned and threw it to Jackson, and who knows? Oh, goodness. What a finish. And the Falcons win it. We'll be back with more in a moment.